Well, folks, I think we're going to open this hog hunt up with some down-home cooking over a wood fire. I'm actually at my little camp here. I'm going to be joining Jeff Rice and Larry Weissoon tomorrow, but I'm all about a prepared meal when you go hunting. I just hate to have to go somewhere and hunt and then get in, and when you're supposed to be skinning game, you're cooking. We're going to cook some goulash. I don't know how many of you have enjoyed goulash in your life, but it's a simple meal, but it's really tasty. In this skillet here, I've got some venison burger. You know, very tasty, very lean. It does have some beef fat in it, but it's ground venison with beef fat. And so we're going to use bell pepper, onion, regular old ketchup. We're going to put some ketchup in it, some whole kernel corn, stewed tomatoes, salt, and of course we're going to have some chili powder in it. I don't think I'm forgetting anything other than I'm going to put about 4 packages of these shells in it, noodles if you will. And I think we're going to have some great food. Going to be cooking it here with B&B charcoal. We're going to build a fire with our B&B charcoal here. And then I've got some of the B&B charcoal, our B&B charcoal wood. Actually, this is mesquite wood. We're going to start a charcoal fire. I'll show you that. And then we're going to put this wood on it to get it going, and then we're going to start cooking, so stick with me. Well, folks, we have our deer burger, onions, and bell peppers, and a little jalapeno over the fire. Here's what it looks like. I'm going to stir this up and actually brown the deer burger first, give you a little closer look. Peppers and onions are already in there, a little of the chili powder. So I'm going to go ahead and stir that up and brown it, and then we'll come back and we'll add the other ingredients. But the fire is just about right here. That B&B charcoal cannot beat it. Okay, folks, we have our deer burger all browned nicely here with the onions and bell pepper and a little jalapeno in it. So it's time to add some seasoning. We need some salt for sure. Let's put a little salt in there. I had some chili powder in there in the beginning, but let's put a little more chili powder. That's what makes goulash really good, in my opinion. Chili powder. Alright, so I always like to stir everything as I add it. Make sure it's all stirred up and mixed well. Give it a little more chili powder. It does not have quite the color that it needs to have, nor the flavor, so we add a little more chili powder to it. Okay, that's looking like the basic of goulash. Now, what does goulash have in it? Corn. Let's put a can of corn in there. And let's put a can of diced tomatoes. Now then, it's time to stir some more, right? Get this all incorporated together. I'm going to put a little bit more wood on the fire and bring it up to a slow simmer. And then goulash has to have ketchup. Got to have some ketchup. So let's put some ketchup in there. You notice I'm not measuring anything exactly. That's not camp cooking for you. But it is important to stir everything up, and then after I bring this up to temperature, we're going to put a lid on it, folks, and just I'm going to let it cook real slow. Oh, for maybe 30 minutes. I want all these flavors to incorporate. But you can see it's beginning to look like goulash. And then after everything's incorporated and cooked well together with a lid on it, we're going to add our noodles. I'll show you that in just a little bit. Right now, let's bring it up to temperature, put a lid on it, and let her cook a while. Well folks, this has been cooking about 10 minutes with noodles. And really not noodles. I use the Mexican shells. I think they're pronounced conchas, C-O-N-C-H-A-S. But they're made by a company called La Moderna. I know they're out of Cleveland, Texas, and then down in Mexico. But they use durum wheat, and I think durum wheat adds a lot of flavor to it. Let's pull the top off of this and let you look at it here. Goulash. Now with some cornbread, I'm going to tell you what, folks. This is some really, really good. Of course, I've already sampled this. I wouldn't just show it to you without testing it out first, but I think down at the hog hunting camp, that's going to make a good meal for Mr. Wysoon and Mr. Jeff and myself. All about cooking stuff up early, taking it to camp, and you don't have to worry about cooking it. I can just imagine making this dish after, we shoot a couple of 3 hogs and skinning the hogs and all that. Don't have to worry about it. I'm going to cook some cornbread to go with this. Hope you enjoyed our little cooking segment. Campfire goulash.
This is one of those fabulous days. The days that you kind of dream about. Here of course with Luke and Jeff, and we're ready for a hog hunt out here at the Buck and Bass Ranch. Absolutely a bit of heaven, if you will. And for this particular hunt, I've got a Ruger #1 and an 0300 H&H mag, and shooting Hornady ammo, of course, 180 grain, and a Trijicon scope. So the AccuPoint's got that little green spot in it, so you can get on target pretty quick, and it ought to look really good against that black hog that I'm hoping to find this afternoon. Look, you're using something a little bit different. Of course, Jeff, you are too. You want to tell us what you're going to use?
Yeah, you bet you. This is our Air Force Air Gun Texan. Actually, the production line, the most powerful air guns you can get. 45 caliber. I'll be shooting a big old, about a 300 grain bullet, Larry.
Oh my goodness.
I like to shoot bullets. Now Jeff has got the Seneca.
The Seneca Dragon Claw. This is a 50 cal, and of course we're not going to be shooting bullets out of this one. We're going to be shooting a bolt, which like you would shoot out of a crossbow, very similar to that. So these are really kind of cool. This is an air gun, obviously, and I'm kind of partial to it. I've already shot a few hogs with this already, and man, these are great little weapons.
When Pyramid Air first sent this one out a couple of years ago, well, you actually killed the first hog. I think maybe Larry was with us.
You were.
I think Larry heard the impact there. But yeah, with the air bolt, these are extremely lethal. It shoots a 50 caliber bullet also, but. But that, for hunting, I don't think you could beat that air bolt with a tip with a good broadhead.
That's right. I'm excited about getting out there and hunting with it again. So.
Well, you bet. So,
I think you guys are just partial to sharp sticks with points on them is what it is.
Yeah?
There's a bullet.
I think mine may go a little bit faster than yours.
It goes. This is these are speed demons, about 850 feet per second, Larry.
Yep, that'll do. This will do that.
And that shoots an arrow, I think, about 450. Or maybe 500. That's pretty fast for an arrow. But hopefully, we'll all have video cameras, and we'll see what happens. Very likely, we'll have us a hog or 3 on video for you to look at, folks.
Stay tuned. Using a 300 H&H Magnum, kind of a large shell. It's the old original when it comes to 300 Magnums, developed in England a long, long time ago. And think about maybe in the late, or rather early 1900s. Of course, it's a Ruger #1, as you can see, and it's 180 grain saw point by Hornady. Been using this one for a while and absolutely love that round. Hopefully we'll get an opportunity to use it this afternoon on a hog. We've got a feeder to my right, got a feeder to my left. There's not a whole lot right now for these hogs to eat, so, and they've been coming to this corn pretty good, so it's an instance where, with a little bit of luck, we'll have some hog. We'll have a hog around before too very long. I'm gonna wait a little bit. There's also a bobcat hanging in here. I dearly love calling. I brought my Burnham Brothers. It's a C3 call. I carry it with me everywhere I go. I've used it to call up lots of mule deer. Mule deer respond to it absolutely fantastic. Called up coyotes, bobcats, javelina, just a little bit about everything with this particular call, this individual call right here. I carry it with me everywhere I go, whether I'm traveling across the water or if I'm traveling here at home somewhere. Gonna kick back for a little bit and relax, give things time to kind of settle down a little bit. When they do, I'll start blowing this call and we'll see what can happen.
Well, friends, we are set up. Got the dragon claw. Got me a feeder about 20 yards away. Corn will be coming out of that thing about 5 p.m., which is about an hour and a half from now. We got on the blind early. Hogs seem to be moving. Full moon. Kind of a cool winter afternoon, so we are ready for action. We've got Larry all set up, and he's sitting in a double box blind over near the big food plot. We've got Luke back on the east side of the property, and he's sitting in a little box blind too. The snap block hunting blinds, folks. That's what they're sitting in. Awesome blinds. This happens just to be a little pop-up blind here, but I call this the hillside blind. It's kind of a little bit of a hill, but these hogs like to come in here, so stay tuned. I think we're gonna have some fun tonight here on A Sportsman's Life. Hog hunting, East Texas. Stay tuned.
Well, folks, we're going to head back down the trail here and head back into an old stand that I've had for years and years. It's a snap lock hunting blind, and we have it set up back here off of a creek drainage. We're going to take the old Texan here, Air Force Air Guns 45 caliber, and see if we can get a hog. So stay with me. Show you the blind when we get down here.
In this situation that I'm set up here in this absolutely fantastic blind, it kind of snaps together. One of our sponsors that does an absolutely fantastic job on blinds. The way it's set up, you just kind of snap it together and put it in place wherever you want to, and it's rugged. And Luke's got one of these, had for years. The windows pull up, there's a breeze blowing into me. Thankfully, I sprayed everything down Scent Guardian before I left home, including my hat, which I spray quite often, my clothes, my binos, the gloves that I wear, my gun, everything else. With it, you just kind of become invisible as far as the scent is concerned. And I'm not so sure it doesn't do some things on EMF as well too, where it blocks your electrical impulses that we as humans and other animals put out. We were set up here too. One of the good things is I learned how to shoot left or right-handed. I'm naturally right-handed. I have a right eye dominance, but I learned a long time ago if I shut my right eye, my left eye becomes dominant. So I shoot left or right. And over the years, I probably shot as many animals from the left side as I have the right side in a hunting situation. So set up here, I come right up here with the rifle, shoot left-handed or shoot this way. Let's kick back and relax for just a little predator call here in a little bit and see what happens. I'd love to see a coyote respond, or even a bobcat that's been hanging around here. Temperature is probably in the 40s. Absolutely fabulous afternoon. We're right off the edge of Lake Park, and if you listen very quietly, sometimes you can hear planes going over or vehicle traffic, but this is an area here that's protected. There's a bunch of land that joins the lake that doesn't allow any hunting. Those hogs have learned all about that. Of course, bucking bass is right next to that property, and Jeff Rice does an absolutely fantastic job in terms of management, in terms of setting up lines. And I've hunted here several times in the past. I've seen some big hogs. Not too sure whether I'm going to try to shoot a young eating hog, or whether it's going to be one of those great big hogs. We've seen one of those big old trophy boars. I kind of like those too. So we'll see what comes in here in a little bit.
Folks, we're settled in here. It's going to be about a 40-yard shot to the feeder, or anywhere around that area where I'd see a hog. So we're going to go silent. Hopefully that feeder is going to go off. It will go off in about 30 minutes. We're going to see if we can get us a porker on the ground right here.
Getting on at that time where we're almost out of shooting light. Got entertained by birds and squirrels and 2 deer that I was able to mess with a little bit. Gonna take around another, maybe 5 minutes or so and see if something comes in. If not, I'm gonna start heading back to camp. Find out what Luke and Jeff did this afternoon. They were shooting at one of the air guns, or both of them are shooting air guns. One of the Seneca Dragon Claw, and the other one of the Texan air guns. I think it's probably a 45 or 50 caliber. Of course, they'd be quiet to where I couldn't hear them if they shot. But regardless of the fact that hadn't been any hogs showing up like I hoped they would. Still an absolutely fabulous evening. Temperature couldn't have been any better. Just an absolutely great evening, just watching squirrels, and did have 2 deer come by, so that kind of made it exciting, and I got to play with those a little bit, run at them. Get back out here maybe a little bit later in the morning, or early in the morning, I should say, and we'll try all this again. Maybe then some of these hogs will start coming into this feeder. For whatever reason, I seem to be snake bit here lately on hogs, but it's not just the taking of the animal that makes it fun. It's just the fact of being able to be out here and enjoy this beautiful land that Jeff has at Buck and Bass. I love this country that he has right here, this habitat with little old creek bottoms and big old trees and lots of squirrels and lots of things to watch the entire time.
Well, folks, they're out and about. It's starting to get dark here, so haven't seen any yet, but they're not far away. This is a blind that's probably 400 or 500 yards away, so closer to where Larry's hunting. Maybe he's seen something. Haven't heard any shots yet, so maybe a last-minute hog will go down. All right, stay tuned, folks. We'll be back with more Sportsman.
Like Mr. Paul Harvey said, the rest of the story, this all started yesterday at my little cabin out behind the house. Guys, I had an absolute ball. How about y'all?
It was a fantastic time. Beautiful weather, a little chilly, but
It was cool. You know, you talk about a hunt, a successful hunt. You think about a big buck hanging in a tree or a hog in a cooler. We didn't do that. We didn't kill a hog, but I don't know when I've had more fun, and that is the absolute truth.
I tried calling, there's been a bobcat hanging around. We thought I might be able to get in. Of course, it didn't do any good there, but I was sitting there in the blind and just relaxing, among other things. Then we had squirrels like crazy, so I can't wait to come back to another time. I want to come squirrel hunting because there were both gray squirrels and fox squirrels, and of course I saw some deer and all those other kind of good things. Yeah, you had a boar that came in, but
Boar came in just at dark, but as we filming people say, the camera light, it was at dark, and he'd come around the backside of it there, but
there's hunting and there's hunting for the camera.
I've heard you tell me that.
Yes, exactly.
And they're in this opposite directions a lot of times.
Back to the squirrel, our next outing. We
or maybe we may come up with something between now and then too.
We know more than get through. We have so much fun here. We know when we're finish this up than we're planning the next outing. Larry's talking about the squirrel. I can see this happening. The white bass will be running about that time.
It will.
And the creek back here coming out of the lake, they're going to be up in there within a few weeks, couple weeks. Squirrel season will be open. I say we bring our rod and reels, which you've got yours ready, rod and reels for some white bass, 22s, those 10-22s that we've got, our Rugers. Sight it in first, get ready, and then go ahead and have a squirrel and fish cooking down at the creek. I'll bring some of this B&B charcoal and the wood. What about it?
I'm in.
Sounds to me like a perfect East Texas surf and turf.
Surf and turf. Well, I'm ready. I mean,
I am too.
So all we need to do is set the date.
Yeah, well, y'all excuse me. I'm gonna go start getting my 22 ready. We'll see y'all next week.
See you, Larry. We're good.
And a special thanks to these fine sponsors: Air Force Air Guns, B&B Charcoal, Dallas Safari Club, Hornady, Pyramid Air, Nielsen Specialty Ammo, Sightmark, Smokin' Tex, Snap Block Hunting Blinds, Texas Raised Hunting Products, and Striper Express.